Welcome to the KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Joshua Robinson filling in for Laura Papetti today, and it looks like Spokane is done with snow for the week, but it could be sticking around in higher elevations. And we could also see some rain coming in over the next few days, so we're going to check in with Jeremy Legoo for the latest. Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate it. But yeah, we do have a little bit going on in the world of weather, especially early on this morning. A lot of places that I saw snow just a few hours ago, starting to see some of that green grass, and that's the case in parts of downtown as well. So this is melting. It's melting about as fast as it fell across a good chunk of the region because temperatures are starting to bump up. We're in the mid-30s across much of the inland northwest, 34 here in Spokane, 35 as you cross the border into North Idaho. And that warmth, it's just a couple of degrees above freezing, but it's enough to melt some of that snow. A couple of lingering showers. This is going to start to dissipate pretty quick as we move through the next couple of hours. You might see a couple of stray flurries in the afternoon, and that's really going to be about it. The atmosphere is primed to get any moisture up above us to come down to the ground, so it doesn't take much to get it to happen. It's just going to be too warm to stick or get any accumulation. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s a bit later on, so with temps up to 37, you're not going to get any more on the ground. It's just going to be those wet roads. Overnight could see some slick spots form, so we're going to keep a close eye on that. But the weather pattern stays rather active as we head toward Thanksgiving. So I'll have to break it down for you coming up in the full forecast.
We'll see you back here in a few minutes. My goodness, I can't talk, Jeremy. I'm so excited it's your birthday. In a few minutes for your full forecast. Thank you very much, my friend. Here are 3 things you need to know today about the coronavirus. First, Spokane officials say COVID test waiting times have increased due to Thanksgiving travel. Now, we here at KREM reached out to multiple testing locations who say people without symptoms are trying to get tested before traveling for the holiday. The Department of Health is asking people without symptoms to not get tested to prevent extended wait times for people who do have symptoms. For a list of locations with COVID testing options, check out KREM.com. Number 2, today, the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries has fined 4 businesses in Spokane for violations related to Governor Inslee's reopening orders. Violations included employees not wearing masks and violating reopening guidelines. And according to the department, Hot Toddy's Coffee, Second Wind Espresso, the Ugly Duck, and Altitude Spokane Trampoline Park were 4 of 12 businesses fined statewide. And Dr. Fauci is warning holiday travelers that trips to see family are only expected to increase COVID-19 cases across the country.
You see the clips on TV, people's at airports. I mean, those are the things we've got to realize are going to get us into even more trouble than we're in right now.
The infectious disease expert says people are putting themselves at risk with traveling involving crowded airports and planes. The CDC has urged Americans to stay home and celebrate Thanksgiving with only people in their household. A local developing story today, a reckless driving traffic stop ended with the Spokane County Sheriff's deputy shooting and killing a suspect in Spokane Valley on Sunday night.
We tried to stop the vehicle here because of his driving pattern through the legal intervention using the patrol car. The vehicle was able to get out and drive towards 2 of the deputies, and at that point shots were fired.
The suspect died at the scene as roads were blocked for several hours on Sprague Avenue and University Road. The Spokane Police Department will take over investigating that shooting. About 50 high school students from the Spokane Public School District held a homecoming dance and rally inside of a Spokane church on Saturday. A representative with Family of Faith Church said the teens were exercising their First Amendment right.
Well, our constitutional right is to have rallies, and that's what these kids have opted to do with this, is have a rally. And so they really, it's not just a dance or an event that they've put together. They're coming together for a particular cause.
The students' original homecoming was canceled due to coronavirus restrictions. Indoor social gatherings with people from outside your household are prohibited under the governor's most recent mandate. Altitude Trampoline Park and Fitness Center, as we mentioned, one of those 4 Spokane businesses that was fined over the past week for violating the governor's orders, as we mentioned. They were hit, with a nearly $10,000 fine 3 times higher than the next highest fine given to a Spokane business. Altitude's owner says they are upset, but that they were expecting it.
Because for us, it doesn't make sense to stay closed. We've already been closed for 6 months. And at that point, we just decided that it was time for us to be open.
Park officials say that they have hired lawyers and plan to fight the fine, but that they are closed for now. The letter they received in mid-November says their next fine will be around $35,000 if they do not comply with the state. Well, it is a sad day for Washington football fans as the Apple Cup has been canceled for the first time since World War II.
And that's one of the things we always look forward to here in the state of Washington, Huskies versus Cougars.
We've already had to change a bunch of Thanksgiving plans, no family. At least we were going to have the Apple Cup.
The game was canceled after the Cougs did not meet the minimum requirement of scholarship players needed to play UW. The Pac-12 announced there were a number of coronavirus cases across the team and multiple players that were out due to contact tracing protocols. Athletic Director Pat Chun says WSU wants to play the game still, even if it is later in the season. We are just hours away from the big day. Tom's Turkey Tuesday is tomorrow, and it all looks very different this year, but we are still expecting to feed 11,000 families this holiday season. Here's what you need to know to get a meal. Tom's Turkey Tuesday is tomorrow, as we mentioned, Tuesday, November 24th. This year, it is not in the traditional site, but instead it's at the Spokane County Fairgrounds. It begins at 6 a.m. and it is a drive-by only event. Please do not get out of the car. Make sure you have some gas in your tank, as the line might get a little long at times. Also, please bring a mask so that you can communicate with volunteers and help keep everyone safe. And bring a little patience. We know this is a first-time event for us, first time we've ever done it in this fashion at Tom's Turkey Drive, and Second Harvest has worked in conjunction with the National Guard, planning and looking at the safety of the volunteers and staff, along with the families that are coming to get a meal. Now, yesterday, Second Harvest staff and volunteers, including the National Guard, spent the day packaging the meals that will be available for families. You can see all their hard work on your screen right now. Boxes are filled with stuffing mix, rolls, turkeys, potatoes, milk, and canned goods, which are all being transported now to the Spokane County Fairgrounds. That's where Second Harvest will make sure families get the food in time for Thanksgiving. And of course, with the latest round of coronavirus restrictions, the city of Spokane, the community rather, is fighting to keep local businesses afloat. But there is one local baker who is doing her part using her cookies.
Slap down a cookie, grab the icing, and start creating.
It means a ton to me.
Jamie Roberts is a cookie decorating pro, using her skills to highlight local businesses.
As a lifelong Spokaneite, I am huge in community support.
Making cookies with some of her favorite business logos is her way of supporting.
If my little edible pieces of art can inspire people to go spend their money here locally, then great.
She posts her creations on Instagram. It was supposed to be just a one-week project, but Jamie had too many businesses she wanted to share.
I was making a list of the places that I wanted to feature, and I filled 3 pages.
So now she's just going to keep icing, hoping to inspire some local shopping.
I want to do whatever I can to drive people to shop local, to eat local, to do everything local, just because we all need it right now.
And as a local business owner herself, Jamie says the project means a lot to her.
This year it feels like we're kind of coming together, and it's like we have to support local.
The goal, of course, is to make sure no more businesses are forced to close. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.